Okay, we will get our meeting started. We would like to welcome everybody here this evening. And at this time, I ask that our city clerk, Melissa, take the roll call.
Commissioner Bauer.
Here.
Commissioner Maxon.
Here.
Commissioner York. Here. Vice Mayor Doan.
Here.
Mayor Van Oster.
Here. Next is our invocation. This evening, we have Pastor Jason Swindell from the New Vision Church to start our meeting off in prayer. Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful day. We thank you, Lord, for giving us charge over this city as gatekeepers. Lord, we thank you that you give us the wisdom to officiate what comes in and out of this city. We thank you, Lord, that you give us insight, Lord, to protect the people of this city. Lord, we thank you for all of this bestowed upon us. In your Son's mighty name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor.
Do what? That's a no-no.
Okay. Next, we have a review of our agenda. Does anybody have any changes that they feel need to be made to this agenda this evening?
Nope.
Nope, and it will stand as presented. We next have a consent agenda. This is a big one, so I'll read through all 6 items on here, and then we will go back and I will call up the proper person according to which item it is to explain some things. Tonight's consent agenda first consists of item number 1, the City Commission meeting minutes from Tuesday, November 23rd, 2021. Number 2, our special City Commission meeting minutes from Tuesday, December 7th, 2021. The third, our ordinance G 21-07, which is an ordinance to add a section to the City of Coffeyville Code of Ordinances to allow the assessment of costs to the collection of debts owed to the city. Number 4 is the resolution R-21-82, which is a resolution to authorize the mayor to execute a mortgage release in favor of Lisa Brookover. Number 5 is action to set the public hearing for fiscal year 2021 budget amendments on December 28th, 2021 at 6:30 p.m. in the Coffeyville City Commission room. And item number 6 is appropriation ordinance number AO-21-23 for $2,977,721.07. Okay. We will go back to the item number 3, and at this time I will ask our Director of Finance, Stephanie Richardson, to come up for any questions on explain this, and so we can see what's going on.
Mayor and Commissioners, we have looked at a contract with CBK Inc., which is a collection company that is associated to work with municipalities and local governments, those type of things, for the collection of unpaid debts. For our purposes, this would work for our utility office as well as municipal court. It does give us some authority with things like weed lots, those kind of, as another avenue of collection that way. This company has met with the city several times, met with the municipal court several times, and has good references as far as other local units of government that are using them now. Collections seem to be doing well, and this ordinance actually is something that they brought to us. Typically, when we currently use the Kansas Set-Off program for our collections, which limits us to those that are owed money from the state of Kansas, tax refunds, those type of things. We use that service currently. This company will use that as part of their process. The fees with this company is higher than the collection company, and but the part that we liked with CBK was that they brought to us this option of assessing or adding these charges to the amount that was owed by the debtor to the city. In the past, those have all, as far as on the utility side, those all get deducted from the monies that we receive. So they pay their debt, and then Kansas Set-Off takes 19% of that for their collection and then send us the balance. By passing this ordinance, it would allow CBK to add those fees to the amount that's owed, and then the city is paid in full for the debt that's owed. If you have any other questions, I'd be glad to try to answer those.
Does anybody have any concerning that?
So
Okay.
in the past, we basically have, so on a lot of these, it's just been assessed against the property taxes, is that correct?
Not in the case of the municipal court and the utilities.
Right.
Those are pretty much sent through the set-off program, and we, like I said, anything that comes back through the state or the Kansas Department of Revenue, they'll take our amounts out of those.
Right.
If we have someone that moves to Oklahoma, or it just is someone that's not owed a refund for any reason, those debts just remain unpaid, and we,
But this actually gives us another avenue to go to rather than just assessing against the property taxes.
Yes.
Is that- Okay, that's what I wanted to know, yes.
All right.
Thank
Any
you.
further questions on this ordinance before moving on to the next one? Okay. Number 4, we have Resolution R21-82, which is the resolution to authorize the mayor to execute a mortgage release in favor of Lisa Brookover. Once again, our Director of Finance, Stephanie Richardson, will take over and explain and answer any questions.
Lisa Brookover had one of our loans through the city. She has paid that loan off early and gone through those processes. So I spoke with Paul, and this is one of the steps that's required in order to go ahead and release the documents needed for the payoff of her loan.
Okay. All right. Any questions on that? Okay. The next one, action to set the public hearing for fiscal year 2021 budget amendments for December 28th, 2021 at 6:30 PM in the Coffeyville City Commission Room. Once again, our Director of Finance, Stephanie Richardson, will explain.
This is just part of the process of the budget amendments. We will be publishing those in the Saturday, the 18th newspaper, and we'll be bringing that to the commission at the December 28th meeting for your approval.
Okay.
So it's basically year-end cleanup.
Formality.
Year-end cleanup, yeah. Looking at those funds, many of them we talked about during the budget process that we knew we would need to do some amendments before the end of the year.
Sure.
All right. Any further questions on that?
Nope.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, we next have, are there any questions about, or things that anybody wants to bring out, Paul, about
Yeah.
the appropriation ordinance?
So 2,977,721.07. I'll go through the list. It's not one of the larger ones, but there's a long list. So Algier Martin Associates, $32,274. That's for project work. Asplin for tree trimming, $14,546. Atmos Energy for some new meters and some various other things, $26,654. B&B Bridge, that's for the overlook culvert. Looks great. I think everyone seems to be really happy with that. Mr. Avey probably especially. That's $101,043. BG and Sons, that's for weed lot mowing, $2,450. Baldwin Pole, $13,140. Barry Tractor, $6,445. That's for maintenance. Border States Electric, $7,590 for miscellaneous items. City of Coffeyville, this is for some utilities for various facilities around town, $19,791. We paid 4 revenue bonds, $1,392,751. And then we had health insurance that we paid $110,343. We paid CRMC, the sales tax distribution, $70,864. Core and Main for meter supplies, $28,747. ESO Solution, and this is a reporting software, $6,162. Fleet Fuels, $15,933, obviously for vehicles around town. Gray Bar Electric, $61,621. This was for miscellaneous fiber items. Hawkins for chemical, $10,479. High Potential Power Services, $6,685. This is for preventive maintenance. Hitachi for some repairs, $30,302. Graham Construction, $57,849. This is for Highland Street. Kansas Department of Revenue, this was for taxes and permits, $59,862. Kansas Water Office, this is for Kansas Water Purchase, $15,000. KMG Gas Supply, $256,806. This is for fuel gas purchase. Meriton Health, $40,789. That's for health insurance. Then we had the Nile Hotel, $4,520. That was sales tax. That was distribution. Olson Associates, $29,300. That's for professional services. PayPal, it's for miscellaneous fiber items, $13,593. Push Pedal Pool, $7,968 for some fitness equipment, assuming for the emergency services building. Southwest Power Administration, $11,207, and that's electric or energy purchases. TC Underground, $5,850, and that was for water taps, 9 of them. And then the payroll, $414,437. I think I got everything.
You've covered it. Yeah.
All right. Told you there was a lot. It was just for not one of our larger appropriation ordinances.
But it takes a lot to run.
Yes, it
The
does.
city. Okay. And so, any other questions on the appropriation ordinance? And I am going to assume nobody had any changes to the minutes. We kind of went right over those.
Nope, all
So, okay. Then if not, I will move to approve items 1 through 6 of the consent agenda as presented.
Oh. You did.
Motion is made by Mayor Van Oster, seconded by Commissioner Bauer to approve items 1 through 6 of the consent agenda as presented. Commissioner Maxson.
Aye.
Commissioner York.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Bauer.
Aye.
Okay. Our next item is comments. We have comments from the public. If we have any citizen desiring to address the commission shall be recognized. Please advance to the podium, state his or her name and address for the record. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes unless extended by a vote of the majority of the commission. The commission does not hear matters involving litigation or city personnel. The commission does not take action on subjects not on the agenda unless unusual or hardship conditions exist. Citizens may address the commission on items that are on the agenda as they are brought to the floor. So do we have anybody here this evening for anything that it's not on our agenda? Okay, then we will move on. Next item are public hearings, special presentations, and proclamations, which we do not have any this evening. We do not have any old business, so we will move right on to new business. First one is the announcement of the USDA Mutual Self-Help Technical Assistant Grant Program, and tonight our Director of Housing, Charla Brown, will make comments.
Madam Mayor, Commission,
Good evening.
this is it. So everything you guys have helped us out with, everything you guys have voted on and approved, this is it. I don't know if we want a moment of silence or what, but so first I'm going to start out with thanking everybody for being here from the city. I know right now this time of year you guys could be like at home Amazon shopping or something, last minute gifts, but we appreciate everybody for being here. The news release from the USDA reads as follows. The USDA invests over $600,000 in home construction assistance in Coffeyville, Kansas. That's us. So, the United States Department of Agriculture, Acting State Director for Rural Development, Kansas, Dan Fisher, today announced that USDA is investing $624,960 to assist low-income Kansas in building homes in the Coffeyville area. Investments like these increase the stability and independence of Kansans, Fisher said. By helping low-income residents build their own homes, it also increases the stability of the surrounding community as well. The USDA investment comes through the Mutual Self-Help Housing Technical Assistant Grants Program, which is designed to assist qualified organizations to carry out local self-help housing construction projects. Grant recipients supervise groups of very low and low-income individuals and families as they construct their own homes in rural areas. The City of Coffeyville will receive a $624,960 grant to provide technical assistance for the construction of 20 homes by lower-income families. By working in partnership with trusted local organizations, this program helps very low and low-income families get affordable, clean, and safe homes of their own in rural areas. Very low-income families living in substandard housing are given priority for loan assistance. Under the Biden-Harris administration, rural development provides loans and grants to help expand economic opportunities, create jobs, and improve the quality of life for millions of Americans in rural areas. This assistance supports infrastructure improvements, business development, housing, community facilities such as schools, public safety and healthcare, and high-speed internet access in rural, tribal, and high-poverty areas. $624,960. I just kind of wanted to say it again. So, we're very, very blessed to have this program from USDA. With Coffeyville, everything that I've been learning as I took this position, through the Dalton raids, the floods, the rising number in poverty, and the declining population, we always overcome all those tragedies. Coffeyville is still here. From the 1960s until now, we've been declining over decades in population. And in the 1960s, that's when the USDA really started helping with this self-help program. It's the only federal program that combines sweat equity and home ownership opportunities with affordable loans. I think that's what people don't get, is that they think that it's a handout to lower income people, and it's not a handout, it's a hand up. We're assisting them in getting loans that they wouldn't normally get. They couldn't afford to pay them. It's a low interest rate strictly through USDA, and they have to repay it. They're paying on their own mortgage instead of paying rent on substandard housing. They have to do 65% of the work. When I got a home loan years ago, I didn't have to do anything but sign papers and move in. They have to build 65% of it. It's not a handout, it's a hand up. They'll be able to pass this on to their children for years to come. It is a great, great gift for Coffeyville. But that's what I want people to see. The City of Coffeyville is not gaining any money from this. We're not spending any money on this. It's directly 100% funded through USDA. So I just want people to understand that. That's the most important thing. I think that the city manager said it best when he said that, as city employees, we work to benefit the public. But this program changes lives. It doesn't just benefit lives. And we're going to get to see that firsthand in years to come. This program will cap at 20,000 people. It's going to take years and years to get 20,000 in Coffeyville, but can you imagine if that happens again? It's going to be amazing. And you guys are the ones that started this. And I'm not supposed to say thank you to the city manager, so I'm not going to say thank you for everything he's done. I'm not going to mention him in any way for all the hard work and the direction that he's put into this. I'm just not going to say it. So we will move on. With the assistance from the USDA Rural Development Self-Help Housing Program, the city will coordinate the program by finding building lots, developing house plans, working with contractors, coordinating materials, training participants on construction skills, and supervising the construction. Like I said, they're going to do 65% of the work. All the contracted labor is going to be here in Coffeyville. Coffeyville will make that money. Our contractors will make that money, nobody in the city. The family members will devote time and labor to painting, roofing, siding, and other types of tasks and lower the cost of construction while developing equity in their new home. They get the keys to their new home and they get instant equity, which is also a hand up, not a handout, because they worked for it. I'd like to take this time to thank the following for their involvement in the USDA Mutual Self-Help Technical Assistant Grant Program process. Again, not Mark at all. The United States Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, the United States Department of Agriculture Agriculture, Rural Development of Kansas. LIFT Community Action Agency, they're going to be the ones key in helping us oversee this program. They're going to oversee our budget. That's $624,960. Every penny is going to be scrutinized by them. They're going to come down in-house and have meetings with us. Every receipt will be accounted for. It's absolutely no bump up in the budget for the city of Coffeyville. United States Senator Jerry Moran, he sent down Pam Henderson on a flight today. And she is here smiling about that. I don't know many women that would smile about that, but so I am very happy to meet her and have her here.
Mayor, commissioners, okay, so I can't take Mike is gonna rat me out. So I live over in Pittsburgh, so I did not fly. I just drove over. But I flew in as far as like I got here at the last minute. Congratulations to the city of Coffeyville. As you know, housing plays a role in economic development, and this is just one of the piece of the pie to make your community a better place for people to live, work, and play. Senator Moran was happy to play a role in this in helping secure the funding for you all. And we look forward to see what you guys do with this and how you help fill the housing needs of the region, as far as even just this community, but for the whole region, because we all have people that commute in and out of our community. So congratulations again to you all, and thank you to all those people who played a role in this, whether we're naming them or not.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.
I would like to add, Senator Moran, of course, Congressman Moran was on the Ag Committee, and this program is directly a result of that. And his office in Olathe, and of course, Pam in Pittsburgh, it is one of those that he, through his duties as a senator, still took the time to make sure that it was walked over to and checked upon at USDA in Washington, D.C. So I know there's others that she's going to, but I want to thank the senator. He was handy in Washington, D.C., and once it got there, he made sure that it didn't stay on someone's desk. So I just, personal thank you to the senator.
Yes, very good,
Yes,
very
thank you.
good.
And I guess when she said she flew in, she was talking about speeding. But I don't think there's law enforcement in the room, so we're good when she drives back. Also, Senator Virgil Peck Jr., he's here. He was key in getting this grant from the beginning. He endorsed the program. He wrote a letter of recommendation. And we sent that on to the state. So Senator Virgil Peck.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners,
Good evening.
Good evening.
I was glad to see that I did not follow under the public comments area because it's limited to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And senators can hardly introduce themselves in 3 minutes. So I trust that you have coffee or an energy drink or something and just sit back and relax. No, I'm kidding about that. But I got an email from Charla asking about my support for this program. I'm going to back up just a little bit. I have long talked about Southeast Kansas, and one of our issues is a lack of adequate housing for current and future residents. New people to move in, particularly people that have just a little bit upper income type of a thing. And so when I got the email from Charla, I thought immediately, yes, this is exactly something that I want to get behind and do want to lean into and support and do what we can to get this across the finish line. I realized it was a federal program, but I thought, well, as a state senator, I can jump in and do my part. Coffeyville is sort of second home to me, if you will. I live over by Havana. Caney's would be considered my hometown because that's where the kids went to school. But I do some banking here in Coffeyville and several other business things, and have owned some properties here in Coffeyville as well. I always enjoy coming to Coffeyville. So I thought, this is my hometown, if you will. I really want to get behind. So I then told Charlie in an email, I'll be glad to write a letter. And then I thought, well, I don't even know what to write. So I contacted her, visited with her. She gave me some talking points, if you will. Because the fact that we don't have staff as state senators, it meant that it was all on me to come up with my own wording. So I stayed up like 3 or 4 days straight to try to come up with the wording. I'm kidding about that. I did not. But I did want to make certain that I got it right, and I do appreciate what Charla had provided to me as, if you will, some talking points or a draft piece of a letter, not legislation. But I want to join with Senator Rand's staff in congratulating. I look forward to seeing how these funds can benefit Coffeyville area and provide some better housing. Mm-hmm. I know most of you most likely were probably in either high school or college, except for Commissioner York when we had the floods of 2007. I thought I'd get more of a rise out of that.
I'm a little older than that, yeah.
But we know, those of us who have been around a while, I was in the House at that time, how that devastated a lot of our housing stock. As a matter of fact, it destroyed some of it, particularly on the east side. And there have been other things that have happened over the years that we have lost some of our housing stock. So again, I was just thrilled and delighted when she'd contacted me, when Charlotte had contacted me about this program. I thought, we got to get this done. And I'm humbled, honestly humbled, to have had just a small part in doing my part as a state senator to lend support to this program. And again, congratulations on that, and looking forward to great things. And I'm not going to be shy. I do thank our city manager for all of his
Absolutely.
efforts. And no one told me, Mark, that I couldn't thank you. So.
Very good.
But and for Charla for taking the lead, because had she not contacted me, I wouldn't have probably known about this until well after the fact. So again, congratulations, and Charla, thanks for your efforts, by the way, as well.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
Thank you, Senator.
Yep.
Thank you, Senator Peck. Also with us is Pastor Daniel Knight. He's been a huge influence in this also, and I'd like to recognize him being here as well. Do you want
Thank
to
you,
come up?
Pastor.
Last minute, you don't have to. I won't drag you like I said him, so.
Hey, I'm just thankful to be a small part and be able to hear your vision and City Manager Hall's vision. And I just want to publicly say I'm excited about this opportunity. I've lived, I guess, a third of my life here in Coffeyville. I was through the flood that's there. I lived on the east side of town. There at that time, I actually had a USDA loan several years ago and was able to pay that off. It was a hand up for me, and it was some work. But it was a great help, not specifically this program, but I think this is a good thing. And we need to do things and have people passionate about helping our town. I know y'all are passionate. Most people are here are passionate, or they wouldn't be here. But I want to just say thank you to everybody. And I don't know if anybody else is doing this, but how about let's give everybody a hand that's part of that. Can we do that? I feel like that would be... It's good to be a part of something great, so thanks so much.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you, Reverend
Thank you,
Knight.
Pastor.
Also, I wanted to take a second. I see Mr. Mike Avey is in the audience. As you guys are aware, he's the one that built the 2 houses on Gibson Street. He's really doing a lot. He's shaking his head, so I'm probably going to get in trouble for that also. If you guys can have my back after the meeting, I'd appreciate it. Thanks. But
Mike had a vision for that, and he made
Thank
it happen,
you.
so, yeah.
Thank you. But
Mike.
he
Yeah.
also helped us out in our grant. I'm sorry. He also helped us out in our grant as well by being the bank that said that he would do our. Each family has to have an individual checking account. So he signed his name off also that he supported that. So I'm very thankful for that. Sorry, Mr. Avey. Also, I'd like to thank the Coffeyville Chamber of Commerce. They also wrote a letter of support for the program. They said, Candy said anything that we needed, just ask, and we have her full support also. Most importantly, I'd like to thank each one of you, Commissioner Paul Bauer, Commissioner Justin Doan, Mayor Anne Marie Van Oster, Commissioner Tracy Maxon, Commissioner Bob York. I'm sorry, Vice Mayor Justin Doan. I just really thank you guys for believing in this and giving us this opportunity through USDA. It's going to be huge. And again, like I said, you guys are kind of the founding fathers and mothers of it. So I really appreciate everything that you guys are doing. Also, City Attorney Paul Kreitz, I'm sure you've been called on many things and you're going to be called on many things. So thank you, and I apologize ahead of time. So I really appreciate it. Everybody that has worked here at the city, Director of Finance Stephanie Richardson, Director of Engineering Thomas Osborne, as well as the Director of everything else that he does. Planning and Zoning Building Inspection Matt Conger, and the Coffeyville Special Projects Coordinator Chuck Shively, and we all know that he's received many grants for Coffeyville. These guys, I don't think people realize out in the public what they do overtime, and they don't get paid for it. Just like helping with this housing, every single one of them had to help with this packet. It's not just housing. When it says housing and community, it's not just housing. Every single one of them probably put in 10 or more hours a week on top of what they do, and they don't get paid for it either. They don't beat me, tar and feather me, or anything when I ask them. They're always willing to help, and they're here tonight in support of it. Either that or they had to be, I'm not really sure. But anyway, they put a lot of work in. And then Pastor Doug Mund just texted before this that he was in the middle of something else and he couldn't be here. He's also part of the alliance that's going to help us out and keep praying for us. So I just... LIFT, our community action agency, said that they're going to be here after the first of the year to meet everybody, as well as somebody from USDA, again, who we're so thankful for. One other thing that I've heard, and then I will leave unless you guys have any questions, is that this is an enabling program. And I guess in a way I have to agree with that, because it does enable people to do things that they would not be able to do. People who want to work hard and repay the entire loan for the amount of the house. It is enabling. It's going to enable Coffeyville to grow. And it's been said before, something I learned in my leadership class, that nothing changes if nothing changes. Everybody can comment and vent in social media, which is their right to do. And sometimes I welcome that, because it takes people of different beliefs and different mindsets to develop new ideas to get the town to grow. So they're absolutely right. This is an enabling program. And I hope it enables Coffeyville to become huge and we surpass the 20,000. So again, no thanks to our mayor. Many thanks to you. Sorry.
No thanks.
Much thanks to you. No thanks to our city manager. And just thank you guys for everything. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Well, Charlie, you have a big list there of people that you thanked, you brought to the attention. And yes, Mark, to be thanked for bringing this idea to the city to have it started. And Charla, for you for taking it on and leading it like you have been and will be doing, I know. And everyone here at the city and beyond, because it takes all of that kind of teamwork to work together to make things like this for the city, for the entire town to happen. And this will be great. I understand 10 new houses per year next year, and then the year
Yes,
after. Is
ma'am.
that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Because I just want to bring that out so
Yes,
people will understand that. And that after that time, we do have the opportunity to renew automatically, correct?
Absolutely.
And
we
for
can
another
reapply.
20 homes over the next 2-year span.
Yep. Every
I'm-
year and a half, we can reapply
Okay,
for it.
okay.
Mhm.
Which I think is wonderful. Having the people involved in their own, to me, and I'm sure my fellow commissioners will agree, that's what builds your ownership up and your pride up. So, and something to be proud of when you do that. So I'm looking forward to seeing this over the next 2 years and what all will happen
Thank
and
you.
what all you will take us through, and Mark and the other city employees on this. It's very good. Very
Thank you.
good.
And to that note, I don't know why I forgot. I forgot last time too, and I apologize. But Amber Dean, she is going to be the one actually helping lead this program. I guess I forget because she's always by my side. She's like my shadow. She does everything to help out in this program. So a special thank you to her as well.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, and all of you.
Before she goes, there's 2 guests that she didn't announce that are here tonight. And Colton, we apologize for taking your mom away.
He's probably fine.
It is one of those that if she hasn't been at home, she's been down here working. And she thinks of you all the time. And it is one of those that just want to thank you both for letting us borrow her to get this program done.
Yes, yes, it's great.
Thank you.
Absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you
thank you.
very
Thank you,
much.
Charlie. And I also want to say thank you, Mark Hall, for all your efforts on this and bringing this program to us. Without Mark, I don't know that any of us would have ever known about this program, so.
You're absolutely right.
Yep.
You are the only city in Kansas that currently has this program.
Yes,
So
very good.
we'll lead them somewhere.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Okay, moving on to item number 2 under new business. We have discussion and action to make appointments to the Coffeyville Regional Medical Center Board of Trustees. There are 2 open positions for 4-year terms. They start January 1st, 2022 to January 1st of 2026. Applicants are Mr. Mike Avey, Mr. Christopher Hogan, Mr. Alec Hendricks, and Mrs. Sonia Larimore. Now, Alec and Sonia were unable, they had intended to be here this evening, but for very good reasons, they cannot join us this evening. We do have Mr. Avey and Mr. Hogan here, so if you'd like to have each of you come up to the podium, whichever first. And tell us a little bit about yourself and why you have applied for this position, though I know it's on the applications. We just kind of like to hear from people themselves.
Chris Hogan, I'm the chief nurse anesthetist at Coffeyville Regional Medical Center. I guess I'm supposed to announce that I live in Coffeyville. I live at 1407 Cortez Avenue. Madam Mayor, citizens, I was just interested in applying because I actually like the description of what the Board of Trustees does. One of the things that we constantly focus on as hospital employees and as nurses in general is making sure that we provide the best quality care that we can. And that's right in the description of what it is that the Board of Trustees is responsible for trying to do, is to oversee that the hospital does just that, provide quality care. And I'd like to say it's more complicated than that, but that's all it really is. I've been a nurse pretty much since I graduated high school. I've been working in hospitals for almost 20 years, I guess. I've been doing anesthesia since 2010. I've worked in lots of different places. I've been here, left, and came back because I liked it. I liked the people I worked with here, and they asked me to come back, and I thought it was a great opportunity, and I just want the opportunity to give back and help serve in a different way.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
I appreciate it. Okay. Next, Mr. Avey.
Good evening, everyone. Mike Avey, 2952 West Northbrook, and thank you for the new culvert. I've been driven across it 4 times now, and actually met a car on it this morning, and we both went across it just
At the
like
same
normal.
time.
Didn't have to wait.
So that's awesome.
That's great.
Moved here in 2000 and immediately got engaged with the hospital on the Board of Trustees. Having been in small communities pretty much my entire career in banking, know how important a quality medical facility in that community, and it's definitely one of the legs of however many legged stool it takes to have a solid community. But went on the Board of Trustees in, I think, 2001, and then after, I think, serving 2 terms, moved over and became a Board of Director. And so over the last 21 years, I've either been on the Board of Trustees or the Board of Directors, or both. And one of the things that the trustees are charged with, and what I'm probably most proud of the time I've served, is selecting Board of Directors. And I feel like we The one person I have in mind right now is our current chairman, of recruiting him and his leadership style that helped bring our current CEO who's in the audience, Brian Lawrence, and seeing things happen under Brian's leadership that I think are going to make a huge difference over the years to come to keep our medical facility as relevant as it ever has been. So willing to continue to serve our community in that capacity, and would like to serve on the trustees again. So thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. You have any discussion, or does anybody have a motion they want to make at this time?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to move to appoint Mike Avey and Sonia Larimore to the CRMC Board of Trustees for a term expiring January 1st, 2026.
I'll second.
Motion is made by Commissioner York, seconded by Commissioner Bauer, to appoint Mike Avey and Sonia Larimore to the CRMC Board of Trustees for terms expiring January 1st, 2026. Commissioner York.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Bauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Maxon.
Okay.
I want
Congratulations.
to say to the
Thank
other
you.
applicants as well, thank you very much, and thanks for wanting to be involved in this as well. And there are other opportunities out there on other boards as well, so if you want to get involved, there's plenty of opportunities to do so. So, thank you.
Mayor and Commissioners, may I suggest that, since this might be a longer meeting, that, if people would like to go home, we have a lot of guests. You're welcome to stay, but there's a lot of travel. So I would not want you to have to sit through the whole meeting.
Thank you all very
and then
much.
have to go home.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
very much.
But
Well, it is, but
And,
there are
and
limits, right?
I apologize, Mayor. I apologize for doing that. I just,
No, absolutely
I know
fine.
that
That's okay.
some have a long drive.
Right. Okay.
Very
Pam had to catch a flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had to fly. Okay, we will move on to our third item under new business, which is the discussion and action to make appointments to the Planning Commission. Right now, there are 3 open positions. We have 2 for 3-year terms starting January 1st, 2022 to January 1st, 2025. We also have 1 unfinished term that expires January 1st of 2023. Our applicants this evening are Mr. Jim Faulkner and Amy Hines, and they are both here this evening, I believe. So if each of them like to come up and just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you would like to do that.
Mayor Commissions, thank you. Amy Hines, I live at 1010 West 4th Street. I moved to Coffeyville 2011, but actually a little bit later than that. My husband moved before me. I was still finishing up my career choice. I work at CRMC as a radiologic technologist. I've been there 8 years. I was granted full-time employment through the grace of God, and so I've been working at other places, but Coffeyville's our home. I'm a little nervous, excuse me.
That's okay. You're fine.
I've always been involved. I did Boy Scouts with our son as he grew up. I was Cub Master, committee chairman. My daughter did band. She was heavily involved at Phil Kinley. Did Band Boosters, president for 4 years. I even helped try to pass the bond issue that got denied, which was a very sad moment, but that's okay. I'm looking forward to getting involved with the community. I see pictures of Coffeyville back in the past, and I see how wonderful and how grand it was. And I'm like, this was a really great place. And I see the current, and I want to make it like the past again. I want to bring that back here. This is our home. I want to make it better for not only my family, but for the future generations and even for my daughter's family. So I'm looking forward to getting involved and rebuilding our community to make it better. And if you have any questions, I'm an open book.
No?
No
All right,
questions?
Good questions.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Your turn, Jim.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, you previously appointed me to fill a non-completed term, so this was just an extension of that. As far as I'm concerned, requesting to fill one of those 3-year terms. I was on Planning and Zoning, in addition to having set where you are. I was on Planning and Zoning, I'm going to say it was 11 years ago when we wrote the comprehensive plan that is in effect right now. And given the direction that Coffeyville is headed, you know, we can see a turnaround. We can see a turnaround coming. This housing, every time we've done a survey, there's been 5 things that the community says you have to have. You have to have a place to work, to live, to play, to go to school, to shop. So planning and zoning is, in the future, is going to play, I think, probably a much greater role in that process than it has in the past, and I'd just like to be part of it.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you very
Yeah,
much.
And Mark, that comment, boy, that emptied the room.
Mark knows how to clear a room. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. If there are no further questions, then I am going to make a motion to appoint Jim Faulkner and Amy Hines to the Planning and Zoning Commission for the terms expiring January 1st of 2025.
Second.
Motion is made by Mayor Van Oster, seconded by Commissioner Maxon, to appoint Jim Faulkner and Amy Hines to the Planning Commission for terms expiring January 1st, 2025. Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Bauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Maxon.
Aye.
Commissioner York.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you both
Thank you,
for
guys. Yeah.
applying.
Yeah.
We appreciate it, and we appreciate your work for the city. Okay, moving on to item number 4, we have discussion and action to approve the 2022 cereal malt beverage licenses. Our city clerk, Melissa Carter, will make comments.
Mayor and Commissioners, the City of Coffeyville received 16 applications for 2022 cereal malt beverage license renewals for businesses. The fire department has inspected each business location and they are all in compliance. Background checks have been completed by the KBI. All renewals meet the requirements set out by the state statute and are eligible to be licensed for 2022. Therefore, we are requesting approval of the cereal malt beverage licenses for 2022.
Only question I had was why does one of our locations need re-inspection?
I asked the same thing. So that didn't have anything to do with the cereal malt beverage inspection. When they were inspecting, they made a note on something that was unrelated, that business is now fixing. But I double checked with the fire chief and he said they are approved for the cereal malt beverage license on that inspection.
Okay,
Okay, any other questions?
my only one.
Okay. Okay. Then I will make a motion to approve the 2022 cereal malt beverage licenses as presented.
Second.
Motion is made by Mayor Van Oster, seconded by Commissioner Bauer to approve 2022 cereal malt beverage licenses. Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Bauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Maxon.
Aye.
Commissioner York.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Okay. Moving on to item number 5, which is Resolution R-21-83, which is a resolution to approve the City of Coffeyville's fee schedule for 2022. Our city clerk, Melissa Carter, will make comments. City staff with proposed changes to the fee schedule are in attendance tonight for any other questions that we may have.
Mayor and Commissioners, the City of Coffeyville fee schedule includes fees for services in the city which are reviewed annually. The proposed changes are outlined in the staff report and in the fee schedule provided in the agenda packet. Main changes this year include adding a section for airport fees as the city took over the FBO this year, changes to Hillcrest Golf Course fees, campground fees, and a few minor changes to water and electric utility fees. We also removed the Coffeyville wireless internet fees as those were adopted by resolution, and the stormwater fees as those were adopted by ordinance. And as you stated, representatives from each department with proposed changes are in attendance to answer any questions you might have.
So why don't we have Jim come up here, because it looks like the majority of the changes are going to be at the golf course.
And I can speak for that.
Okay.
In review of in a surrounding area, if you'll notice, we did keep the membership fees the same.
Yes.
It is one of those are patrons of the golf course, and it is one of those that we appreciate their patronage to that, and didn't feel it was necessary. The other fees you see are those that are visitors to the golf course. We compared in the area, and those are in line with the other area golf. It is one of those, in fact, they're still a little on the low side. They are visitors, and of course, like I say, for the local, they have the opportunity to come play, but it does, with the membership fees staying the same, that's in hope that people become members and take advantage of that. But there's always a cost to running a golf course. To sit there and say that it is in the black, it's always in the red. It's a quality of life thing. And I want to say, with the help of public service and of course the golf course, that loss is kept to a minimum, but these fees will help offset that some. And if there's any other questions, our main concern was maintaining the membership fees at the same price.
I'm going to run through just the prices real quick.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
okay?
Okay.
Just so
Sure.
everyone's clear.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So Monday through Thursday, 9 holes was 12, now 15. Monday through Thursday, 18 holes was 17, now it's 20. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, holidays, 9 holes was 14, now it's 17. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, holidays, 18 holes was 19, now 22. Junior rate, 17 and under, 9 and 18 holes was 7, now 10. The 10 play pass card for 9 holes was $100, now it's $125. 18 holes was $150, now it's $175. And then cart rental that's for motorized carts. 9 holes, it was $8 per person, now it's 10, or the proposal's 10, I should reword that. 18 holes, $12, proposals 15 per person. And then for the trail fees for the personal carts, was 9 holes was 4, now it's 5. 18 holes was 8, proposed 10. The only other change was for the campground fees. It was $8 per day for water and electric. We're requesting it be moved to 15. And
The full hookup scope.
yep. And then the other one's 15 to 25 for a full day.
Yes.
So, and that is all the changes for the most part.
Which
Reconnection.
actually puts it more in line with what our private
Right.
areas are charging for theirs
Yes.
as well, so.
Yes.
There are some electric utility changes too. Service reconnect after hours was 100, now 125, and then disconnect overhead after hours was 100, now 125. So,
I mean, just a lot of housekeeping.
yep, a
fees
lot of
that
housekeeping fees.
Raises, I mean, does some things so that we can be in line with some other things that are going on.
So I know nobody likes an increase, but, I mean, look at what costs have gone up in the last year. Just fuel cost alone has gone up considerably. So these are fairly modest changes in comparison to what we're seeing in other areas. So.
Yes, sir.
Yep, I agree.
Okay. All right.
I think we did a good job of explaining that.
Thank you. Short.
Okay. If there's no further questions, I will make a motion to approve Resolution R-21-83 as presented.
I'll second.
Motion is made by Mayor Van Oster, seconded by Vice Mayor Doan to approve Resolution R-21-83 as presented. Commissioner Bauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Maxon.
Aye.
Commissioner York.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Mayor Van Oster.
Aye. Thank you, Melissa, for
Yes.
those
Yes.
very much. Moving on to item number 6, we have Resolution R-21-84, which is a resolution to approve a purchase of electrical equipment and materials for new offices on the ground level of City Hall. Our Director of Engineering, Mr. Thomas Osborne, will make comments about this.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. As previously, we came forth for, we need new office spaces because of the growth that we're seeing in the department here at the City of Coffeyville. Goes hand in hand with the announcement with the self-help program. We're going to add more people, and we don't have offices. So since that was the case, we saw this coming. We came forward and we requested a budget back in June. And you guys approved $170,000. Since then, we've gone through some design, done bid outs a couple of different times, trying to get prices down. Once we saw with just the range with the material costs alone, because nobody knew what was going to be from day to day, we decided to take the project in-house. So this is the material cost for the electrical equipment to install and facilitate those offices being put in downstairs. You have to answer any questions.
So I did get the opportunity before the meeting, went downstairs with Mark and Thomas and looked at what they're working on, and it'll be it's a really nice setup. It'll be really well done.
Good.
Yep.
That's great.
They're
Okay,
not- Go ahead.
No, I was just
I was
going to say
gonna
if
say,
there's
if
some
there's no other
questions, you
questions,
go
I'll
ahead.
move to
because-
approve Resolution R-2184 as presented.
I'll second.
Motion is made by Commissioner York, seconded by Mayor Van Oster to approve Resolution R-21-84 as presented. Commissioner Maxon.
Aye.
Commissioner York.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Bauer.
Aye.
Okay. Then we will move on to item number 7, which is Resolution R-21-85, which is a resolution to approve purchase of mechanical equipment for new offices on the ground level of City Hall. Once again, our Director of Engineering Services, Mr. Thomas Osborne, will make comments.
Thank you again, Mayor and Commissioners. Again, this goes for the same offices downstairs. This is the mechanical equipment. The original quote was $13,703.12. We had asked for bids and specs on a different head unit for ease of maintenance and serviceability, as well as installation. We weren't able to get those quotes until yesterday, and so we actually are requesting to change that to go. It's going to be a slight increase, but it's a better overall for the project. So we're looking for $18,482.73 for the mechanical equipment. We are going through a distributor. We have wholesale pricing through a distributor due to some of the contracts that we've had in the past with City of Coffeyville. We had a licensed HVAC on staff, and he's still on staff, but he's doing other projects. So we still have that relationship to be able to get those wholesale prices. So that's where we've got this from. So be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Any questions?
I'll move to approve Resolution R-21-85 as presented.
I'll second.
Motion is made by Commissioner Bauer, seconded by Vice Mayor Doan to approve Resolution R-21-85 as presented. Commissioner York.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Bauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Maxon.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Thomas,
Thomas.
very much for your work on this. Item number 8 under new business is Resolution R-21-86, which is a resolution to approve an agreement to participate in the opioid litigation settlement. Our city attorney, Mr. Paul Kreitz, will make comments.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. I don't really have much more to add than the information that's in the agenda packet regarding this, but reading from the Attorney General's press release from July, Kansas has reached a settlement with a major pharmaceutical company and 3 opioid distributors as part of the state's ongoing efforts to bring accountability to those that fueled the opioid addiction crisis and provide funds to support addiction services. And then at the very end of that article, he says, earlier this year, Kansas legislators approved the Attorney General's proposal to ensure funding recovered through these settlements is used to address addiction and help ensure services are provided throughout the state. Funding will be available through a grant review board created by the statute. State agencies, local governments, and not-for-profit entities may seek funding for addiction treatment and abatement through the board, which is currently being formed. So that was back in July. I spoke with an assistant with the Attorney General's office a couple of days ago, and he indicated that based on population, cities can expect anywhere from $500 to $1,000 per year for the next 20 years based on this settlement. I think there's other litigation still pending. We're a non-participating entity, and I'm not sure exactly what that means in terms of dollars and cents, but anybody who wants in on this class action has to notify the Attorney General by December the 27th. It's one of those things. We may avail ourselves to some money to be used for limited purposes, abatement, treatment, education, that kind of thing. But if we don't participate, we don't have that option.
Okay. All right. Okay. Any questions?
No questions.
Okay. I will move to approve Resolution R-21-86 as presented.
Second.
Motion is made by Mayor Van Oster, seconded by Commissioner Bauer to approve Resolution R-21-86 as presented. Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Bauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Maxon.
Aye.
Commissioner York.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you very much, Paul.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Paul.
Okay, moving on to item number 9, we have a resolution R-21-87, which is a resolution to approve the conveyance of the Veterans Memorial Stadium to Coffeyville Community College. Our city manager, Mr. Mark Hall, will make comments.
Mayor, this first resolution, it would be the conveyance of the stadium to the college. It is one of those that staff, 2 commissioners met and discussed this. It is one of those, as a result, was to take back of that discussion, and you see the resolutions before you. Over the years, the stadium has remained the city's ownership. We did. The city paid off the stadium this year in 2021. Is that correct? It is one of those going forward. It is a great amenity to the city of Coffeyville. And I do appreciate the college coming forward and saying this is something for us to keep going. We will still participate in a way of these other resolutions, but it is one of those, I think this is a stadium. It'll be Veterans Memorial Stadium and remain that. The other is in the discussion is future events. They will go with, and we would always have that conflict. If you went through the city, we'd have to go through the college, whereas the college is indicated just go directly to them, and they will set up, and work with any groups that are interested in having an event at the college. So I think it's a positive thing. There's been a lot of discussion over the years. There's been hard feelings. There's been joy about the stadium, and this kind of moves all the entities moving together, and especially the college and the city, to take advantage of, like I said, a great amenity to Coffeyville, and keep this moving forward. So that is basically what you see first. It would be the conveyance of the stadium to the college.
Okay.
I have no questions. I read the article from Montgomery County Chronicle, and I think
College
Taylor
board
did a
voted.
very good job of
Yes.
communicating that to people, and Marlon is right on board with it from all the indications on what I read.
Yes.
So,
Their board
Yes,
approved
yes.
it last night. is what
Right.
Their
they
board of
said.
trustees meeting, yes.
Yeah.
So it is good.
So how all does it benefit the city giving it to the college?
Beg your pardon?
What areas does it benefit the city by giving it to the college?
It is one of those that I think is a lot is that the college, in a sense, had no skin in the game. It was something that was furnished and originally created. It is not the colleges. That was a vision that was 20 years ago, and from my understanding, that vision it wasn't built for the college. It was built for another vision, and that vision didn't turn out. The city has always had it, but because of the lease, it's been in the control through all this time to the college. Like I say, going through the city, because of the lease agreement, we have no authority to sit there or set up events because they held the use of and the lease of that. This would give anyone interested in having an event at that is to go through. They do have a marketing department, and it is one of those, they could go directly to the college, know when the events are for, and turn around and work that agreement out. We just had, and that has been the thing, is through all these years, it's been a lease, which that gives them a right of use, and that the city hasn't necessarily had that right of use, so.
All those are pretty much benefits to the college, not necessarily the city. Does it help us on bond ratings? I know our insurance will go down because we don't have to pay for the insurance, right?
Yes, the college already, this is in the agreement, basically, the insurance for the stadium was paid for by the college. But the insurance is on ours, so that will be removed from ours, and like you said, it goes down.
That should affect our policy as a whole too and help, right?
Yes, it is that much risk. It wasn't as expensive as one would think, but it is one of those, the college paid the city to have that insurance. As far as bond rating, of course, anything, it cleans up this item. It has been paid for throughout the years of the 20 years, and I think that was the contention. We had to show that as a liability, and it is one of those, it is done as a liability, it's paid off. It kind of cleans up our books and moves on a chapter, but it is one of those that I guess is that the stadium was basically was by the ratepayers. It was paid for by the ratepayers. And it has been, and it's been through the electric, and that has been a burdensome year. For the electric department, that has stopped. But millions and millions of dollars, and I can't give you the was the cost of the stadium. And I do want to say on the college the college never forced this idea on the city. It was something that came up as past management, be it good or bad, it's there. It's an idea that we can move on and start looking at the stadium in a positive view, know where to go and to contact and do something. But those dreams back then didn't turn out. At one time, I think there was supposed to be a hotel. I think there was supposed to be a baseball complex. These things are well and good, and I know with you commissioners and asking these questions that's what a commission is supposed to do, is when these things come up, I know it's kind of one of those, everybody gets excited, but you also look at what is it going to be 20 years down the road. So I think it's always good for the commission, and it's a great thing, it's an amenity to the community. It's something that I show people pictures, and they can't believe it's in Coffeyville. But it is let's take advantage and work together and make this greater, and we can put down that question of how it started, who did what, How has it affected the community? We can finally put that down and look at it as in a positive light, because it is a great asset. So that's where kind of we've been. I think it gives at least a direction, and it's singular, and it's not, well, the city owns it. Oh, but we can't use it because it's leased to the other. So I think it clears up that, and it gets the community actually, hopefully we'll do a picture. And they'll have a ribbon cutting, and everybody can join hands and say, let's make this the greatest that it can be. And I think that's good for the community as a whole.
Any other questions?
Mayor, if there are no other questions, I'll move to approve Resolution R2187 as presented.
A second.
Motion is made by Commissioner York, seconded by Vice Mayor Doan to approve Resolution R-21-87 as presented. Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Bauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Maxon.
No.
Commissioner York.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Item number 10, which is a resolution R-21-88, which is a resolution to approve the Veterans Memorial Stadium Cooperation Agreement with the with the Coffeyville Community College and USD 445. Our city manager, Mr. Mark Hall, will make comments.
Mayor, Commissioners, I know you're aware of it is a maintenance agreement, but this is a cooperation agreement, roughly the same thing. What has changed from the prior is that all the three entities placed in $25,000 apiece, and that was annually. It does have where the entities choose the representative, which is management and the finance director. They do, before any of those funds are expended, they do go through a process of a decision-making for the future of the stadium. Should this fund, and this fund would be, and this maintenance would be transferred to the college, which it has set with the city. That fund is still monitored. It is one of those, it's by a public entity, so there is oversight and controls. That fund would continue on, and by the donation of each year from 25 to 35, that would go into that fund for needed operational maintenance. I think that is good. It is, like I say, something that is such part of this community, and a big part you'd hate to see it fall down. There is one of those things the college added in the conversation was, should they want to do more improvements, that would be on their own. And this is, so basically, what improvements we would be involved, those that are essential for the future. It is by ownership of the stadium. They are open to donations to the college. Whereas if the city had it, a lot of donors would, why would we want to give money to the city that's supposed to be going for the college? So this does open donations for the college, and that is anything besides the operational, that would be theirs responsibility. And that was one thing discussed, that they have ideas for future improvements, and it is one of those, this gives them the capability, is because ownership would be theirs. So the agreement is basically the same, just touched up, and Attorney Kreitz, City Attorney Kreitz, kind of looked in it, and I trust his judgment, and he can write the heck out of anything. And but it is with the idea, that is, and I apologize, I meant to say that is one other thing that the college benefits from, is that they have a lot of donations sources, and if you've read in the paper recently, the announcement of $1 million.
Yes.
These are things that we don't necessarily have that they would. So I think we will see some benefits going down in the road in the future of this. It is a 15-year agreement, but it is one of those that discussions, should things change, can always discuss with each of the entities. What you approve tonight, all parties have to agree. So there's three, and that is the college, which, from my understanding, they approved last night. The city, should the commission approve tonight, and then there has to be from USD 445. So all must approve, or the maintenance agreement is void. So any other questions, I'd be glad to ask.
None?
Yeah. I don't see, now that we're not going to be owners of the stadium, why are we obligated to pay the $35,000 a year for their maintenance?
I think in my understanding, and I know this agreement stemmed way back, I think there was, as going forward, because the city had ownership at that time, it was basically, and I can't quote this as a fact from my understanding, when there came a funding, and I believe Commissioner York was involved in that, but to my understanding, it was, at one time, it was, you own it, you maintain it. And that's where, the others, you kind of go, and there has been discussion, that, well, if we own it, you pay to play. It has been a struggle, but at that time, and I believe, and correct me, I thought, Commissioner York was involved in that.
Yep.
That there was that attitude, you didn't build it for us. This is some dream somebody had, and it passed. It was approved. And that was bringing back both parties to the table and understand, well, we don't have football team. We don't have track. But it was, at that time, it was, the city can't bear this burden because we constructed it. And so the entities came together, it was agreed, and it has, I think, a track. Jim, is that right? Track improvements, there's been field improvements.
Yeah, the turf's been replaced, the track's been repaired. Yep.
And so with that, those improvements, instead of being solely 100% on the city, that has been divided in thirds. And so this going forward still keeps us involved. Like say, we hope to take advantage of, they make this a better place with improvements. I've heard a lot of ideas, and I've heard the possibility of sources. But it is one of those, that's why we would go forward. They were under no obligation to come to us. And what year was that?
That was right after the stadium was built, so it's been quite a while back, so, yeah.
So they three came together, which they didn't have to. This is not their stadium. And therefore, this is the city's, would be this cooperation agreement, is the city's commitment to return that we will continue on. And like I say, but they have ownership.
So I would argue that the city does benefit from events up there. So we, we
Yeah,
get
I
motel room
meant
stays,
to.
we
Right.
get sales tax, we have people eating in our restaurants when
Yeah,
events
and
are
I
occurring up there.
apologize.
And so I know your point as far as we don't have these teams, but we do. So, I mean, our college is part of our community. So as a city, yes, we do have these programs. And so it does benefit us to make sure that this facility continues to be a premier facility, so.
And I think as much as anything, it's good faith,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I mean, we
Yes,
do
and-
still have
and-
some dog in this fight,
Yep.
regardless if we have ownership of it or not.
I-
So
We've
we'll
spent
flip, so we can
$20-some
kind of
million
flip
for
that,
it.
right? Because for the last 20 years, the college hasn't owned it, and they've paid us money to repair it, right? So, I mean, we can play devil's advocate on this whole thing, right? So I think it's a good faith. It does bring business. It
Yes.
does support the city. It is a monument, right? I mean, right. But
That is.
I just know that the city and taxpayers have paid for millions of dollars to pay for the stadium, and to continue to put more money into it is at good
Well, but
use
it
of
has to be
taxpayer money.
maintained. I mean, you can't just say, okay, we put millions in it, but we're not gonna maintain it anymore. It becomes a.
The city's owned houses, they give them to people, but they don't pay them a maintenance budget for the house.
So moving forward, there's only one way that this city is going to succeed, and is if all the entities come together and work together. And if we can't help out with 35,000,
Just gave them $20-some million building. That's
Well, it's
helping out.
not 20
I think we
million,
need to
a little
move on.
elevated, but yeah.
Well, and I should have turned this over to Commissioner York. But it is,
You're
it
fine.
is,
You're fine.
it is something that will always be in concern. And it is, and I appreciate, Commissioner Maxon that is part of, a commission's
Oh, a valid point.
job and duty to
It is.
that, to
That's right.
question things. It is, like I said, it is a 15-year, but it is one of those that I think everybody understands that this has to be honored and it has to be done right, and that's why there is a outlet that each entity has, of course, the finance directors, that this is to what to go forward. And I know there were situations where the track, Jim, what is the track, did we spend on the track?
400,000.
Right at 400,000. This,
That was not.
this would have been, and like I say, in a weird way,
2
that
years ago?
because of this fund goes and builds over there, it hasn't been a one big lump sum that everybody has to reach in their pocket.
And that was the whole idea behind doing this.
Yes.
This fund back 20 years ago was, okay, so the turf has a 15-year life expectancy on it. At the end of that 15 years, if we hadn't set this fund up, if we hadn't established it, and everybody played along and got involved with it, okay, at 15 years, we got to come up with a big chunk of money to replace the turf. So
You bet.
that's the whole intent and purpose behind that fund, so.
But I will say, it is always good, and I think looking back in
Well, and I agree
hindsight.
that we need the college, we need everybody to communicate
Yeah.
and participate, but I just want to make everybody aware that we're still spending taxpayer dollars
Yep.
on something we don't own anymore.
It's a valid point.
But, and that is, I think that is as good as, and I want to compliment, because it is one of those, there's certain things that you wonder 20 years ago, what should have been the question? And it's not to say that it's a bad thing, it's just sitting there going that there's a lot of things that this turned not into that was promised, and I think that was the bidder is, going to have hotels and going to have fields and going to have this and everything, and that didn't happen.
Sold is one
And-
thing, delivered is another.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Yes.
That's correct.
So,
Okay. All right, if there's no further discussion, I'm going to make a motion to approve Resolution R21-88 as presented.
I'll second.
Motion is made by Mayor Van Oster, seconded by Commissioner York to approve Resolution R-21-88 as presented. Commissioner Bauer,
Aye.
Commissioner Maxon,
Aye.
Commissioner York,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Doan,
aye.
Mayor Van Oster.
Aye. Moving on to item number 11, we have Resolution R-21-89, which is a resolution to approve an internet equipment lease agreement for the Veterans Memorial Stadium with Coffeyville Community College. Our city manager, Mr. Mark Hall, will make comments.
Mayor and Commissioners, first I want to say I'm not going to do this item justice because Chris could probably tell you where every nut, bolt, and antenna is on this. Basically, it's an understanding that, the transfer conveyance of the stadium, we still have, internet capabilities on top of that. It is one of those, I believe it's a lease of $1 or basically it's that. It's just the legal wording from our city attorney that basically says we have a right, and those rights are to the internet equipment on top. With that came up a question is future capabilities of by the college, should technology grow, of course, if there's a need to go, and they talked about the junior colleges and the requirement because of COVID of televising games and these kind of things, that right now it has, I forgot how many gigabyte, what is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
one gigabyte.
Whatever.
Per
what-
second, right? 1
Yeah,
gig per
whatever.
second,
That,
yeah.
I'm sorry, Chris, I didn't mean to tear that up there, but what it is with the idea, and what they would do, if they needed that, they would bear the cost of upgrading that equipment to meet their capability or their requirements. This sets out, we have plenty of data. Chris, if you're there, just give me, we can handle the data. 10, okay, there we go, but we can handle that, and that gives us plenty. But this is going down the road. Should that change, it just wants kind of an understanding that, they can, like I said, it was brought up in the meeting that they're now going, because of COVID, that people cannot travel necessarily to the games. And so now, here you go, junior college will be televised. Next thing you know, we'll be on TV. And so this does give them to live stream where people can watch the games and others, and they just wanted to make us aware. So this agreement covers that, and it does say that it remains our equipment.
And there's no money changing hands,
No.
actually.
No, it's
They're
just
allowing us to use
I
their
probably-
building. in
I was
exchange
used
for-
to the old way for $1.
Yeah.
It's just the providing the internet for them.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not a lawyer, and I stayed at Holiday Inn Express.
Okay. If there's no further discussion, I will move to approve Resolution R-21-89 as presented.
Second.
Motion is made by Mayor Van Alster, seconded by Vice Mayor Doan to approve Resolution R-21-89 as presented. Commissioner Maxon.
Aye.
Commissioner York.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Mayor Van Alster.
Aye.
Commissioner Bauer.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mark.
Yeah, thank you for all your work on that.
Yes.
Yes.
That took a lot of time, but we got it completed, and hope we'll all work together on that.
And thank you to the college as well.
Yeah.
They've been,
Yes.
they've been good to work with on this.
Yes, they
so.
have. Very
And
good.
USD 445 as well.
Next item is number 12, which is our city manager's report.
Mayor and Commissioners, of course, it's my turn to thank Charla, and embarrass her and do that. I do want to sit there and emphasize what she said. With what we do is to, all that we do in public services to benefit the community. Roads, programs, these kind of things, but we actually don't do something that will change lives. Of course, a playground will allow them and a benefit to, go to their family and this stuff. But this is a program that actually changes lives. Of course, they've already started on a mission to take this program and learn from it and then create other things. We will be working with HUD, going down the road. We do a plan, and like we've said, to attack housing at all levels, not just lower. But I want to thank, she drove this through. She didn't stop. And while we went on to do other things, she kept on making the phone calls and kept on running the numbers. So she doesn't take enough credit, but you will have a housing department downstairs, and you will actually have a housing department that's going to make great changes in Coffeyville. We still are, and I say Coffeyville's half full. We have a lot of things that are so good about that we can sell Coffeyville in the future, and this does, for anybody to sit there and say that they are building 10 homes per year. That does say that we're leaning forward and we are progressing. So, want to thank her on that. The other is all the departments, we're winding down this end of the year. We're closing out things. Public service, busier and bees, trying to get stuff done by the end of the year. We've had this marvelous weather. Can't explain it, but it is one of those. Just as soon as you get out of coat, you got to take it off and enjoy the sun. So those departments, electric, we are winding up and taking advantage of the weather. Gives us more that we can complete and more that we can do to prepare for next year. There's a lot of things we learned over 2021, which you'll discuss. We learned what happens when, a terrific storm comes through in February. Things have been made. It is one of those, we never know what the future is. But electric's on top of it, and it is one of those that will keep going forward. But all departments, police, fire, this is winding down the year and they're closing out. They're not spending anything. They're actually, it is, if you don't need it, you don't buy it. So it is one of those, we'll close out and end the year on a good note. But I want to go in too, because we got last meeting, but, thanking the commission again. You do not know how much you meant to this program. Yes, it sounds good and it's attractive, but you guys knew all along that this was going on, and it is one of those, you've always supported it. And the first thing you did is you created a housing department. Not that there hasn't been one before, but you created a housing department with a mission. And this is finally paid off. And I will say it one last time, you are the first board for the USDA mutual self-help program. It is one of those that's pretty special, and you can't ever erase it because we'll make sure your names are up there. It sits there and goes, you started it. So I just want to say thank you to you and thank you to the departments, and next year's going to be an exciting year. So.
Thank you, Mark, very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we will now move on to comments from commissioners and staff. I have a couple of things. I know, Melissa, you sent out, and it will probably be on Facebook too, we have 3 employees retiring. So can you tell us about them and when that will be, so that the public has the opportunity to recognize them?
Yes, so we have 3 employees from the Public Works Department, 2 in water and 1 wastewater, that are retiring. They're going to have a little reception here on Friday at 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. It's Lewis Easley, Chad Hayden, and Steve Watts. I believe Lewis has 41 years, Chad 32, and Steve 31. Is that right? 33 and 31. So yeah, that's close. So yes, we're gonna honor them with a retirement reception Friday, this Friday at 1 o'clock here in the commission room.
Okay, all right, I think that's great. So I hope those that are listening come Friday to congratulate those gentlemen thank them for their service to the city.
The scary part to that is that here Lewis has 41 years, and he and I went to school together, so that's, yeah.
One of the other ones I taught swimming lessons to, and he was a little boy, and he's retiring, and I'm not. So anyway, yes, but no, they're all well deserving of our recognition for them. The other thing is, if you have not been out to the Brown Mansion, please do so. It is beautiful. They've just added more and more this year. They will be there this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evening, starting at 5:30, and again on, I think it's Thursday, the 23rd, for another evening. The Historical Society, they have done a wonderful job. And so do go out there and see that and be a part of that deal. Also, I noticed today we have the electric department out on East 11th putting up LED lighting, and that will be a good thing. And I know they will be continuing to do that and then move forward with the rest at some time or another, but then that gets the main thoroughfare and everything all done, and those will look very, very nice and go well. So thank you to those crews for doing that and getting that going. I'm not going to say anything about Christmas on the Plaza. I'm going to let Commissioner York do that, because he and his wife Denise are very involved in that and been doing a lot of work, which is much, much appreciated, and it has been great so far. And before I turn that up for anybody, he and anybody else would like to speak, I just want to remind everybody, this season and with things that are going really well for Coffeyville, please shop local, because when you shop local, what stays here grows here, and we all help each other out. We have a lot of good things going on right now in Coffeyville, and good things to come in 2022. So it takes all of us to work together on that point to get that done.
Well said.
Yeah, very well said. Very well said.
Who else?
Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah.
Go ahead if you got
No.
it. Yeah, okay. Well, so as mentioned just a little while ago, so I do want to congratulate our community college on receiving an endowment from Curtis and Janice Harshaw of $1 million. And what a gift that is, for especially for a junior college. You generally don't see junior colleges receive that kind of an endowment, and it speaks very highly to the quality and of the legacy that our college has. And so these folks went to school here and graciously have donated this money back to the college. So, and this is the second $1 million endowment that the college has received. So that's pretty tremendous. I just don't want to sell them short on that. I think it's quite an accomplishment for our college. As Anne Marie suggested, Christmas on the Plaza. So this Friday night, Santa Claus will be at the chamber. So please bring your kids down and let them visit with Santa Claus. He's coming a little bit early, just to find out what kids in Coffeyville want. So please come down and see him. Saturday night will be Hispanic night, and that's always a lot of fun. It went over very well last year and was very well received. So we're looking forward to that again this year. And then Sunday is a bake-off that will be at the Sunflower Soda Fountain. So you can, if you want to enter your baked goods, go visit the folks at Sunflower. There's an application to put in for it, and I got out of having to judge that one, so we'll leave others to judge that one. But I think it ought to be a lot of fun. So Christmas on the Plaza has been tremendous this year. The response has been just outstanding. Shanna Model and my wife Denise have done a tremendous amount of work on this. Getting the horse carriage ride this last Friday night, I believe they sold 175 tickets for that, so it was very well received, and certainly want to thank the folks that brought in the equipment to do it, and the Clydesdales, and it was a very nice ride around the downtown area. If you didn't get to participate, I'm sorry you missed out. But look forward to having that in the future with those events. Did want to thank our police and fire departments for the Fill the Truck and Fill the Cruiser campaign this last weekend out at Walmart. Went very well. Thank the Chamber for the Christmas parade, because that was a wonderful event. And there's 2 times a year you're guaranteed to have a lot of people downtown. One's Spooktacular and the other's Christmas parade, and they didn't disappoint. So, and then 74 entries, I believe, this year in the Christmas parade. 78?
No, 81 or 82.
81, 82, okay, yeah. Okay, well, very good, yeah.
Beautiful
So
weather.
wonderful turnout, beautiful weather,
Been
wonderful
perfect.
parade. I was in it myself, and I think some of the other commissioners participated. I didn't get a single egg thrown at me, so that was a positive. But
I missed.
yeah. So I figured either they didn't throw them or they were a bad aim, one or the other.
Bad aim.
Yeah. This Friday, I believe, is Shop with a Cop with the Boys and Girls Club. So that's also a wonderful event. I know they were asking for folks to help gift wrap, so that would be a good opportunity for somebody to volunteer. And then, as always, our Salvation Army folks are out ringing bells, and just encourage folks to give. I've rang the bell a few times, and it always amazes you just how generous our citizens are.
And how lucky they've been this year with the weather.
I mean,
I talked to a couple of the bell ringers, and they're like, oh yeah, this is
Oh,
great.
yeah. Yeah.
We appreciate it.
You know, he meant to wear gloves right now.
Or a
and
coat for that
Yeah,
matter.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'll take it. But
Everybody's really got smiles.
Okay, all right.
I think
Anybody
that's all I
else?
had.
Nope.
Mayor?
Nobody
Everyone
else?
have a Merry
Okay,
Christmas.
yes.
And spend good time with your family and enjoy.
That's correct. Yes, do so, please.
Our, just real quick, I'm looking at our sales tax. It's, just neck and neck where it was last year, so we're what, into the second week in December, so hopefully we can have an amazing December and, yeah, we'll get close to where we were last year.
Last year was a record year too.
Yes.
It goes back to that shop local piece, right?
Yes, that's right, that's right.
It all stays right here, so.
And I have one more thing to ask Mr. Bradshaw, since he's here tonight. If you could give us the Highland Road update, please. The culvert North Overlook went very well. Okay, that's what I'm gonna let you do. That's why I wanted to bring it, if you would comment on both of them, please.
Okay. Yeah,
Thank
the North Overlook Culvert project was actually opened yesterday afternoon. We did do the final walkthrough today, so no change orders, so it went in as planned.
Good.
We'll be doing the final pay, hopefully on the next warrant register, releasing everything and getting all the paperwork established for that to close that one out. So Highland Road, as of Friday of last week, it was just a pinch over 78% complete. All the flat street work is done, even on the fairway. They've used approximately 170 working days of the contract. They've got 190, so that gives them 20 left to substantial completion. And then there's additional 20 days after that to final out. So excluding some holidays that have come into play on that with Christmas and New Year's. So we're, hopefully things, I think the sidewalk will still be remaining. Towards the end. The push now is to try to get fairway curb and gutter in, and at least all the drives put in, so if weather does turn, at least then the residents will have access to their drives. It'll be a lot different on fairway, if you've noticed, it's drove that area with the change in the intersection. So it is coming together, but it's, to give him 20 more remaining days till substantial completion, that's 4 weeks minus the holidays, so, and then another 20 on top of that, so we're still 2 months out before he hits a deadline, so we can get there as long as the weather holds, I believe.
Okay.
So.
They've been moving right along.
They have been.
out there working
They're
on
kind of
it.
at a point now, though, to where they've got to let some cure time set up on the flat work before they can start bending bars and getting the curb and gutter tied in, and that's going to be the focus now, to try to get fairway opened up, and then at least try to get the main driveway approaches put back in, at least towards the north end, plus what they affected there on Highland south of Fairway. There's a couple of drive approach there that have to be put in. So.
And I know it was a big undertaking.
It
was, and when I originally.
It was a major project.
It
Whenever
was.
you go down and do full depth replacement and storm sewer, there was some utility work that needed to be done. And then going back concrete, so asphalt does go down quicker than concrete.
Yes.
You don't have the cure time, but in that area, it was best because of the base to go back concrete.
Concrete,
So
that's right, that's right.
it does take
And
longer.
As I have told the residents out there who I've been in contact with, it was going to get worse before it got better.
Yes.
But they will be pleased with the finished project. We want to make sure it's done right, and so sometimes when it takes a little longer and we have to work through some other challenges, we just need to be patient because we want it done right.
There'll still be one private drive that will probably be one of the last remaining items that will probably be lingering. That there was some unforeseen things found once we got into it, but if we can get to the point where we can substantial completion, we can always follow up on that in the spring. And that'll probably be what'll happen with that one. because of the extra work that'll need to be done on that drive, so.
Okay.
Other than that.
All right. And thank you for attending to the residents when, wherever I have received calls or whatever, and I get in touch with you and just turn it over to you, then I check in later and just say, make sure they have been satisfied, and they always have been. So I thank you for that very, very much.
North of
Appreciate it.
Fairway looks wonderful. I mean,
Yes.
it's a job very well done.
It is,
Yeah.
it is. It rides good.
Yep.
Yes.
Drains good.
Yep.
Everything, so it's just getting it completed. So
Okay.
It'll be a good job.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Jim, very much. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Then I will make a motion to adjourn so that we can have a Merry Christmas, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't be a meeting.
Yeah, we won't meet till
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Seconded by Commissioner Bauer to adjourn. Can I see a show of hands? Thank you.
Thank you.